In today's activities, we're going to be practicing how to use tally marks to interpret our data and then to plot them onto a bar graph to represent it. Okay, so in this first page here, we have our data. This is our birthday tallies from the people in our class. So here we have our tally chart of the birthdays of the people in a class. We have all the months listed, January to December, and the tally marks represent how many children in the class have a birthday in that month. So you're going to use this information. You're going to go on to the next page, and you're going to plot the data onto the bar graph. So using the tally chart, complete this bar line chart. Okay, let's first take a look at our bar chart and make sure everything's labeled correctly and we have all the information we need. So if we look on our x-axis, okay, we have our date, that's the title, the label of our x-axis, and we have January all the way to December. So that's correct. Now let's look at our y-axis. It's labeled as frequency, which means the amount of times something happens, okay? So the amount of children that have birthdays in that month in our case. Okay, so let's look at our scale. Our scale goes from 1 all the way to 12. It goes up in increments of 1. Okay, so let's do the first one together. Let's look at January. In January, we have 5 students that have birthdays. Okay, remember tally marks, each stroke is worth 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the fifth one is a diagonal, right? So each of these clusters, remember, is worth 5. So we have one tally cluster, so we have 5 students in January. So let's go back to our bar chart. We've got 5 students in January. So let's find January on our x-axis, so there it is. And then let's find 5 on our y-axis, it's right there. So I'm going to draw a line right here and then draw a line all the way down here to make the bar. Okay, and then that's our January bar. Okay, so for February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, you're going to look at the tally chart from before to find your data, and then you're going to plot it just like we did for January. Okay, you can use different colors if you want to. It can help differentiate all the months, but you don't have to. Okay, let's move on to our next page. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to use our data from the tally chart that we were given, and we're going to plot it in the bar chart. Okay, so in A, show the total of each dessert that was ordered in this table. So here are our tally marks, and we need to show how many that actually is in total. So remember, each of these clusters is worth 5. So we have 5, 10, 15, right? So our total would go right there, 15. Okay, so you're going to do that for the rest of these questions. And once you've done that, we're going to go to B. And you need to now plot the data into the graph below. So this box here, okay, is for your title. So every graph needs a title, right? So what are you going to name it? We've got desserts here, okay? And these tallies represent the desserts that were ordered at this restaurant, at the cafe, Jojo's Cafe. Okay, so what do you think the title should be? Okay, now let's make sure our labels are all correct. So here we have the number of desserts, and then we've got 2, 4, 6. So our scale, this is a horizontal bar chart. So this is our scale here on our x-axis. So it's going by what? 2, 4, 6. It's going by 2s. So you're going to want to continue it, right? 8, 10, etc. So on, so on, so on. Okay? Now let's look at the y-axis. Our y-axis this time is the choices of desserts. We have raspberry ripple, lemon pie, and then the rest of the 3 choices will go in those boxes there. Okay, so now our chart is all labeled, our graph is all labeled, and we can start plotting. Okay, so we see that raspberry ripple has 15 orders. So you're going to go ahead and plot that. Okay, so remember, this is a horizontal bar chart. So your bar is going to go this way. Okay, now this isn't exactly correct because we haven't finished filling out the scale down here. So once you've finished figuring out the scale, you'll be able to draw a more accurate bar chart. Okay, so this is just an example of how it might look. Okay, once you've done all of that, you need to now figure out what was the most popular dessert. Okay, so which was ordered the most? And then Cookie Crunch was twice as popular as what? So double, twice, times 2. So however many Cookie Crunch had, if you divide that by 2, which dessert would that be? Okay, and E, Jo wants to remove a dessert from a menu. She wants to get rid of it. Which one should she remove and why? Okay, so that's all for today. If you have any questions, you can find us on Seesaw.